There are times when life takes someone from your path without warning. At first, it feels like loss. Yet, in truth, it is a hidden correction, a shift meant to protect your balance and clear your way forward. These final days of August carry such weight. The rhythm of nature itself speaks here. Cycles closing, silence preparing the ground for change. In Shaolin teaching, nothing ends without reason. The falling leaf is not a mistake. The retreat of summer is not weakness. Breath rises and falls. Night follows day, and endings arrive to prepare the soil for new beginnings. When a person leaves your life during this time, it is not chaos. It is alignment. The hand of heaven clears what does not serve your growth. Few people know this. In many traditions, late August is marked as a turning season, a quiet threshold where discipline is tested. Some monasteries use this period to intensify silence and fasting, sharpening body and spirit for the journey ahead. It was known that unnecessary ties would naturally fall away, leaving only what was true. In this video, I will share how to read these removals not as rejection but as guidance. You will learn the discipline of non-attachment, the strength of breath when emotions rise, and the clarity silence can bring when the noise of loss tries to overwhelm you. These are not theories. They are practices passed down, tested, and lived. Stay with me until the end, because the closing of this month may reveal not only why certain people must go, but also how your own mastery is calling you to rise. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire. Walk with us, learn with us, subscribe, and continue this path of discipline, presence, and freedom. There's a moment in every path where life feels as though it is taking something from you. A friend grows distant. A bond dissolves. A chapter closes without your permission. The heart protests, clings, resists. Yet in Shaolin teaching we learn that resistance is the seed of suffering. What leaves, leaves because it must. What stays, stays because it is aligned. Long ago, I was taught to watch the river. A fallen branch floating on its surface does not argue with the current. It is carried where it belongs. But a branch caught between two rocks struggles endlessly, trapped in a place that was never meant to hold it. So it is with people in our lives. To force what is meant to go is to trap yourself in struggle. To release is to return to flow. Some think that when someone is removed, it is a punishment, a cruelty of fate. But true vision reveals something else. It is an act of mercy. For the one who departs, mercy grants freedom from what no longer serves them. For the one who remains, mercy clears the path, opening space for balance, discipline, and deeper alignment. The chosen one learns to see this, not with bitterness, but with awareness. Every relationship is a mirror, and when it is taken away, the mirror has taught its lesson. The departure is not an ending, but a teaching written in silence. To practice, this is difficult. The instinct of the heart is to hold on. Yet mastery is found not in holding, but in letting go with grace. Release does not weaken you. It strengthens your roots, making you unshakable, because you no longer depend on what can be taken away. There is a misunderstanding many people carry. They think that to release is to stop caring, that non-attachment is a cold indifference. But the way of Shaolin reveals something much different. The body may be trained to endure, to strike, to bend and not break. Yet behind this discipline lies a deeper training, the heart learning to rest in freedom, not in clinging. Think of the monk who sweeps the courtyard each morning. He clears the fallen leaves, not because he dislikes them, but because their time upon the ground has ended. Tomorrow, new leaves will fall, and again he will sweep. He does not cry for the leaf, nor does he grasp it tightly. He honors its place in the cycle and continues his path. This is non-attachment. In the ancient texts, it is said that to hold too tightly is to live in fear, fear of change, fear of loss, fear of impermanence. Discipline trains you to sit with these fears until they dissolve. Mastery is not found in clenching your fist, but in opening your palm and trusting the flow of life. Non-attachment also sharpens presence. When you are not clinging to yesterday or grasping at tomorrow, the present moment becomes alive. Breath becomes steady. The mind becomes clear. From this clarity, your choices are no longer reactive. They are aligned, deliberate, free. This freedom does not mean you turn away from love, friendship, or devotion. On the contrary, it deepens them. Because when you do not cling, you are able to love without fear of losing, to serve without expectation, to walk alongside others without trying to own their steps. This is the quiet strength of the Shaolin path, the ability to let go, and in letting go, to truly live. There is a reason why monasteries have always valued silence. In silence, the world slows, and what is hidden beneath the surface begins to rise. Noise distracts. Noise scatters, noise drowns out the quiet voice that speaks within. But when you sit in stillness, when you let the breath settle and the mind soften, truth becomes audible. It does not shout, it whispers. When someone leaves your life, the first response is often loud. Memories, regrets, questions echoing endlessly. The mind rushes to fill the emptiness with stories. Was it my fault? Could I have done more? Such noise only deepens the wound. But if you enter silence, if you allow yourself to sit with the emptiness, the reason begins to reveal itself. In ancient practice, silence was not seen as absence, but as a teacher. Monks would retreat into days of wordlessness, not to escape the world, but to hear it more clearly. Within stillness, they discovered patterns unseen, lessons unspoken, and guidance that no voice outside could provide. The same holds true in the losses of life. Stillness shows you the hidden alignment, the quiet mercy behind what felt like rejection. It reveals the strength you could not see when emotion was louder than truth. It teaches that endings are not punishments but corrections, pointing you back to balance. Discipline is required to embrace this silence. The restless mind will resist, yet if you can endure the discomfort, a shift happens. Clarity rises where confusion once ruled. Peace flows where turmoil once lived. In the quiet you begin to understand, not with the mind alone, but with the heart. Without silence, only noise. With silence, truth steps forward. When loss arrives, the body reacts before the mind can catch it. The chest tightens, the pulse quickens, the thoughts scatter. It feels as if control has been stolen. Yet within the very same body lies the key to return: breath. Breath is not just air moving in and out. It is the bridge between the spirit that feels and the body that carries. In the old Shaolin halls, disciples were trained first in breathing before striking, before meditating, before walking even a single step in practice. Why? Because breath steadies the storm. When anger rises, breath slows it. When grief burns, breath cools it. When fear shakes, breath roots you again. It is the most faithful companion, always present, waiting for you to remember it. In moments of loss, conscious breathing is more than a calming exercise. It is an anchor. Each inhale gathers scattered pieces of yourself. Each exhale releases the noise and resistance. Slowly, the wave of reaction subsides, and presence returns. The chosen one does not escape pain by denying it, but by breathing through it until clarity emerges. Ancient texts often call breath the thread of life, uniting the visible with the invisible. To lose awareness of it is to drift in chaos. To return to it is to return to mastery. Even a single, deep, intentional breath can interrupt the spiral of despair, can hold you steady when the world feels as though it is breaking apart. This is why discipline in breath is not optional for one who seeks mastery. It is the way back to center. Again and again. The spirit may grieve, the body may ache, but with breath, the two are reconciled, and you remain grounded, awake, unbroken. In the Shaolin way, emptiness is never feared. It is seen as the hidden beginning of form, the silent ground from which strength and clarity emerge. When someone departs from your life, the space they leave behind can feel like a wound. The heart mistakes emptiness for weakness, for loss. But the masters teach that this very space is where transformation begins. Think of the training hall after the monks have finished their practice. The room is empty, the air still, the wooden floor marked by countless steps. To an untrained eye, it may seem lifeless. Yet in that emptiness lies pure potential, the readiness for the next lesson, the next movement, the next moment of growth. Without space, nothing new can enter. Without stillness, nothing higher can take root. Many cling to fullness, to busyness, to always being surrounded, but fullness without pause leads only to heaviness. Emptiness allows renewal. The soil that is never cleared cannot grow fresh roots. It becomes choked and stagnant. The same is true within the heart. When someone leaves, the opening they create is not a punishment. It is a clearing, a mercy that makes space for a deeper alignment. Ancient writings often speak of the empty vessel. A vessel that is already full cannot receive more, but an empty one can be filled with water, wisdom, or light. This is why emptiness is honored rather than resisted. It is the silent promise of what is to come. The chosen one learns not to fear the open space left by departures. Instead, they breathe into it, guard it, and allow it to remain pure until what is meant to enter arrives. In this way, emptiness becomes not sorrow, but sacred ground. There are moments when the heart is stirred and the mind burns with impulse. Someone leaves, words are left unsaid, emotions rise like a storm. The urge to chase, to argue, to cling can feel overwhelming. This is the exact place where personal mastery is tested, for it is easy to remain calm when nothing disturbs you. True discipline is revealed only when the fire is lit within. Shaolin training speaks often of the pause between action and reaction. In that space lies freedom. Without it, the body rushes forward, driven by impulse like a horse without reins. With it, the mind steadies, the heart breathes, and choice becomes clear. Discipline is the rein that turns chaos into order. Long ago, it was taught that restraint is not weakness, but strength in its highest form. To hold back an angry word, to step away instead of chasing, to release instead of clinging, these are not signs of defeat. They are signs of sovereignty over the self. Anyone can fight to hold on. Few can stand in silence and let go. Impulses arise from fear of loss, from the mind's desperate need for control. But mastery knows that nothing forced will bring peace. Release is the greater power. To release is to trust the natural flow, to allow what is misaligned to pass without pulling you down. Restraint, too, is wisdom. It saves energy for the battles worth fighting, the ones within, where patience, balance, and clarity are sharpened. The one who chooses restraint is not passive, they are deliberate. They know that the true enemy is not the person who leaves, but the storm of reaction inside. By mastering that storm, the path ahead becomes clear, steady, and free. Every person who enters your life carries a message. Some stay long, some only pass through, but each leaves behind an imprint. When someone departs, the first instinct is to feel abandoned or wronged. Yet on the path of mastery, the perspective shifts. Those who leave are mirrors, reflecting something within you that calls for attention, something that must be healed or refined. Think of the polished surface of still water. You bend over it and see your own face. If the water is disturbed, the reflection is distorted, but it is still yours. In the same way, relationships reflect the state of your inner world. A harsh word from another may reveal unhealed wounds. A sudden distance may expose where you've clung too tightly. When they walk away, the mirror doesn't vanish. It simply leaves you with the image it has shown. Ancient wisdom often spoke of hidden teachers, people who arrive in your path not to comfort you, but to awaken you. Some offer kindness, others offer challenge. Both are lessons. To resent the one who leaves is to miss the gift they carried. To study the mirror they held up is to uncover the places within you that seek balance. This requires discipline. It is easier to blame another than to reflect inward. Yet mastery demands the harder path, the quiet study of your own patterns, your own wounds, your own reactions. Every departure then becomes not an ending, but a teaching wrapped in silence. The chosen one does not chase the mirror or curse it for leaving. They bow inward, acknowledge the lesson, and continue walking with deeper clarity. In this way, every loss becomes a step further on the path to true strength. When someone leaves, the mind quickly begins its weaving. Threads of blame, betrayal, and regret twist together into a story that plays again and again. Each telling adds weight until the story itself becomes heavier than the loss. Mindfulness is the discipline that cuts through this web. It calls you back to the present, to the simplicity of breath, to the reality of now. In Shaolin practice, students are taught that thought is like a bell struck by a hammer. The sound may echo, but it fades if you do not strike it again. Stories are the constant striking. Presence is the silence that allows the sound to fade away. When you stay with presence, the mind softens, the heart loosens its grip, and freedom begins to return. There is a parable of two monks crossing a river. One carried a woman across the water, though their vows forbade it. Hours later, his companion scolded him for breaking discipline. The monk replied, "I set her down at the river's edge. Why are you still carrying her?" So it is with stories. You carry what should have been put down long ago. Mindfulness asks nothing complicated. It asks only this: return to the moment before you. Return to breath. Return to the step you are taking. In this place, there is no betrayal, no blame, no endless story, only life unfolding. The chosen one understands that freedom is not found in rewriting the past, but in resting in the present. To release the story is to unchain yourself. To stay present is to walk unburdened. Presence does not erase memory, but it prevents memory from ruling you. And in that stillness, truth is felt without distortion. True mastery is not about controlling the world around you. It is about ruling the world within. People will come and go. Some will walk beside you for a season, others will drift away without warning. But the chosen one understands that no departure has the power to steal their center. Balance is not something given by others. It is cultivated through discipline and guarded from within. In the ancient halls, monks were reminded daily that the outer world is like the wind. It shifts, it changes direction, it cannot be commanded. To tie your peace to the wind is to be tossed endlessly. Instead, they trained the inner flame, a flame steady enough to withstand the storm, calm enough to give light even in the darkest night. Self-rule is this inner flame. It is the quiet knowing that your worth does not rise or fall with another's presence. It is the discipline to remain steady, even when emotions press to break through. The mind may stir, the heart may ache, but beneath it, there is a ground that does not move. There is an old saying, the mountain does not bow to the clouds. The clouds may cover it, may shift across its peak, may vanish altogether, but the mountain stands. So it is with the one who seeks mastery. People may arrive, people may leave, yet the self remains awake, rooted, sovereign. This steadiness is not coldness. It is strength softened by wisdom. It allows love without dependence, connection without chains, presence without fear of loss. To walk this way is to know true freedom, the power to remain centered, balanced, and awake, no matter who stays or who goes. The final days of August remind us that life is always guiding, always reshaping. When someone is removed from your path, see it not as a loss, but as the clearing of space for something greater. The teachings of silence, breath, discipline, and non-attachment are not ideas to admire from afar. They are practices to carry into each day. In them, you find the strength to let go without fear and the clarity to walk forward without regret. Take these lessons with you. Breathe when the heart is restless. Choose stillness when the mind clings to stories. Stand steady when change arrives. And remember that every ending is also a beginning. This is the way of sovereignty, remaining awake, balanced, and free, no matter what shifts around you. If this path speaks to you, walk it with us. Like this video, subscribe to our channel Shaolin Soulfire, and continue the journey of presence, mastery, and inner strength. Peace be with you.